not want to be seen. So I took my coat and I put it well over my head.
Wait a minute.
And everybody knew exactly what I was doing.
Can you back up just a little bit to the Winspear LeBrun
Yeah.
issue where you lived? Just a minute. Just back up just a minute, because I missed the first part.
Oh, all right. Pick it up? Okay. Because I lived on Winspear and LeBrun, it was such a long way to go home that my mother and father said, oh, by the time he comes home,
Yeah.
he eats, and he's got to go right back there and catch the bus to go to Rochester. They said, okay, here's some money, go to Liptex and have a fish fry, okay?
Yeah.
I used the fish fry money to go to the Palace show, okay?
The Palace?
The show?
It was Palace
Burlesque.
Yeah,
Burlesque.
Palace Burlesque.
It was called, yes.
Yeah.
And so we have Madison. Can you describe for Madison what burlesque is?
Madison, well, it's, well, let me try to explain what had happened, because I'm sitting there and here, who comes out onto the stage but this very, very famous Rose LaRose. Now, Rose LaRose was considered to be the #1 exotic. You know what an exotic is?
Yes. No.
She's on the stage, okay, and she's
Wait,
saying.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
Can you back up again? I missed what is what?
Burlesque.
No, after that.
Exotic?
What is that?
An exotic, that's what I want to know, whether you knew what an
Oh,
exotic is.
no.
And an exotic is, let me say, she's a woman who likes to do her undressing up on a stage, okay?
What do you mean?
Hang in there with me, okay, sweetie,
I'm hanging in there.
All right,
okay?
proceed.
Anyway, she's on the stage and she's saying, can I have somebody up here to, and these guys are pushing me and I'm saying, hey, I can't go up there. I wouldn't want my father would throw me right out of the house if I ever got caught in this place. And they were saying, come on, get up there. So I go up there and here is this Rose LaRose, while she's taking off her clothes, she's singing.
What's she singing? What's she singing?
Why is she taking off her
She's
clothes?
singing this song, and she's telling me, now I'm going to be singing this song, sitting on a log, petting my dog.
I can't believe you remember this. What does that mean?
It is indelibly in my memory up here. Anyway, I'm sitting on the log with the dog, and she's taking her clothes off.
Oh,
Okay, I'm so shook up. By the time this thing is over with, I left my catechism on the front row seat. I go up to play basketball up in Aquinas, and then the next morning, the principal calls me and he says, Mr. Wopperer, I have your catechism here. And he said, where do you think I got it from? The manager of the Palace Burlesque delivered it to the high school this morning. Is this your catechism? And oh my God.
oh my God.
So I said, oh, please, principal. His name was Brother Malachi. I said, please don't tell my father. I mean, he will throw me out. And I will never have a home again. And he said, well, I'm going to leave it up to the coach. I'm going to turn this over to your coach, and that was Joe Lux. So he gives it to Joe Lux. That was another episode. You haven't been playing too well here lately. I expect you to play a lot harder. I'm going to tell your dad.
Oh, no.
I'll do whatever I got to do. Don't tell my father. Anyway.
Luke just walked in. He doesn't understand.
So, anyway,
Yeah.
burlesque. What is burlesque? Burlesque is a show place. It's a show place where they have on stage ladies. And sometimes they have comedians, guy comedians. But mostly they have ladies on stage that slowly disrobe to music. Is that about right, Ken?
I don't know, I've never been there.
Oh my God.
Oh, give me a break. I don't know. I've never been there. I mean,
He's got a computer.
I'm the only sinner here.
No, you're not. You weren't a sinner.
No, my brother Tom will step up with you.
Yeah.
Because the Fog and Dew felt so indebted to your dad, who used to make the trophy, and he ran all kinds of parties at your house for the Fog and Dew. I always stayed close to your mom whenever she would show up at a Fog and Dew party. And I would always go over there and say, hey, how are you doing? And I knew that she had all these kids, and she had just lost her husband. And I would always, every year, just want to go over there and say, hey, how are you doing? And she would tell me how she was doing and how she's getting along, and always she was very upbeat. And in fact, I had a couple of my friends saying, Ray, that's not a smart idea. And I said, what's wrong with it? And they said, oh, you shouldn't go over there. And doesn't look good. And I said, well, I don't really care. I felt that, hey, look, I knew the mother and father, and I feel close, and I don't care. But do you remember that, Helene? We would always talk every year.
Yep.
So she would clue me in on everything that was going on. We'd sit there for about 20 minutes, and that was it. And then the next year would come, and I'd see her again. But that's how I had a close association with your mother for a lot of those years. So that when my wife Dorothy died, and I saw your mother at a Fog and Dew, and she was there with a boyfriend. We were at a buffet, were we not? And I said, "Hey, how are you doing?" She said, "Well, I'm doing fine. And nice to see you." And well, with that, I must have said, "Maybe we could go out sometime." And she said, "Sure, let's do that." So that's how we got it all
Oh, I
going.
didn't know that.
No, you called me right out of the blue. After Dorothy died, you dated everybody from the club. Well, he did.
It's funny to see the two perspectives.
Oh, no.
Slightly askew stories, just a little bit.
Time out.
Time.
And then,
No, when she
Wait a
said
minute, Bob's
dated
talking,
everybody
Ray,
at
come
the
on,
club,
finish.
let me tell you something. Everybody wants to make sure you get fixed up with
yeah,
their
that's
friend.
right.
And
They did.
lots of times I didn't have the common
all
sense
the
to
time.
say no. But oftentimes when I would go on out, it was somebody that I didn't really want to be there with, but because I was recommended to go on out with this particular person. But you know, when you go onto a country club, you got to be careful of that stuff, because there are an awful lot of widowed women that are looking for a pretty good ride.
Wow. I bet there are.
What do you mean?
Does that mean you're a good ride?
Financial.
Okay. We got that out of the way.
Wrong choice of words.
As of this point, you aren't going to hear another word out of me tonight, okay?
That's the rest of your story.
Oh,
All right, and get back to my story. No,
Wow.
he dated a lot of women from the club. And I said to my friend Peggy, boy, one of these days those women are going to pick him right up just like that. Because, I always liked him. And after, 2 years later, right out of the clear blue, he called me to go out. And from then on, we started to go out. And one thing led to another, and we got married.
Beautiful.
Good story.
That's beautiful.
But
It is a good story.
As it should be.
what I meant to say there before was a lot of your friends are oftentimes trying to fix you up. They want to keep, I think they want to keep this membership together.
Yeah.
And I was opposed to that, but I didn't have the guts to say no to some good friends.
Oh. Everything worked out. You are where you're supposed to be.
I learned something
Yeah.
today I didn't know. I got a
What?
question for you, brothers and sisters. Does mom eat chocolate or not?
Absolutely not.
It was like a gathering spot where
The jukebox?
Yeah.
we would meet all the young
jukebox,
girls
yeah. Where you put a
and my
nickel in
sisters
and-
would meet a lot of the guys.
Get your song? Oh,
That's
what
where I
a
met your
time
mother,
that was.
first time.
Franny's the one that took me up there.
Yeah.
I
Well,
met you
Franny was Kenny's
and your
girlfriend.
family through Fran,
Oh.
because she was dating Kenny.
Yeah. Franny was kind of a
And she
flaming redhead.
introduced me to
Yeah,
the
did
whole
you
lot
remember
of them.
Franny?
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
sure. I
Yeah.
went to her
Oh, yeah.
funeral.
She did?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She
She
had,
was a redhead.
yeah, and as she grew older and older, and it was a tough time for her before she died. Franny.
Who, Fran? Yeah.
Fran
She had
Cardino.
a tough time. After with her divorce and everything.
But I always thought that Kenny's wife, did you remember Ann Maioli?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And Wopperer?
Yeah, she had him kind of twisted around her little finger, and he would do whatever she wanted. But I think that Kenny would avoid any kind of a altercation or even an argument with his wife, Ann. But I would always tell him, you let her push you around that way? Come on, stand
They
up.
were
to
a
her."
fun couple, though. They were a fun couple.
But he, every time she'd yell, he'd jump. And I got a little ticked off at that and said, come on, Kenny.
Yeah.